Hey, this is GemmyD's on Cars.
Hey everyone, this is Dan,
And Will.
and this is GemmyD on Cars. We're starting a new segment called 0 to 60 Reaction News. I wanted to look at the news in the car world and talk about them. And this subject we're going to talk about specifically applies to Will because in the news this week they unveiled the 2018 Dodge SRT Durango. And Will, having a Dodge Ram, I knew he just had his first baby and his next car was going to be a bigger SUV, so I thought this is right up his alley. So I texted him right away and I said, bro, look at this car. So we wanted to talk about this car and see if it's the right fit for him or what. So this car is a 6.4 liter V8 with 475 horsepower, which is pretty ridiculous they haven't released the price yet, but it's going to be $60,000-$70,000. So what do you what do you think about it?
You know, my initial response is, I mean, they did an incredible job with the front fascia on this vehicle, from the hood scoops to the grille that they took and modeled after the Charger.
Right. It's the front end kind of looks like a Charger Hellcat, but it's a Durango. Basically.
Right. Black grille. It looks amazing. They released a video earlier this week. That had it showing doing a burnout,
yeah.
All wheels, just smoking them, which was incredible.
Yeah.
I've never seen a burnout like that, all wheels, smoking like that in place,
Yeah.
not moving.
I'll play this video right now, and we can watch it as it's playing. But it's basically ridiculous. Once you see the car going into the burnout, you can see the smoke coming out of the two air right there.
The vents and the hood.
Yeah, it looks like a dragon almost breathing, kind of.
Right, it's incredible.
I mean, that's insane.
It really is. I mean, best in class towing, 8,600 pounds. You get, I mean, it's the Family Guy who has like a lead foot.
Right.
Basically.
Okay, and they haven't seemed to not skimped on anything. It has Brembo brakes.
6-piston front, 4-piston rear.
Right, and I'm drawing a blank, but
it still has all your different drive modes as far as like track. You've got your snow. You've got your I think there's like a 50/50 on there. It's supposed to be something like 6 or 8 different power modes, driving modes. It still has all your leather interiors, heated seats, vented seats. I mean, it's a family vehicle on the inside when you look at it, with a little sporty touch to it because it's got carbon fiber accents, right? But then when you look at it, and I'm going to say from the front, because the front fascia just really tells you the story of like what's going on underneath the hood.
Right, and we agree that they killed it on the front.
Yeah, just like absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. But then when you start looking at the vehicle from the side, when you take the front of it out, I mean, it just looks like it's a little lost. They're trying to hit a market where guys are looking for horsepower and, you know, the mean, menacing look of American muscle.
Right.
Which, like I said, they did from the front. But when you look at it from the rear or from the side, it kind of gets lost a little bit. Now, the Durango is a long vehicle. It's a unibody chassis, so it's going to sit lower to the ground. It just gets a little lost, and I mean, it's narrower than like a Chevy Tahoe by about 6 inches.
Which is kind of a lot. I mean,
it is. You know, the Durango, it's sort of modeled after a minivan, in that it's narrow to fit into parking spots, like at a grocery store.
right.
It's not meant to be like really beefy. It's supposed to be, you know, a family hauler, but I just think they could have made it, you know, gave it a little bit more character, especially from the side and the rear. Just that extra touch, just to, you know, really set it off as an SRT vehicle.
Right. So we can agree that the looks are pretty good. It's going to be cheaper than the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT, which is $75,000 to start. So it has that going for it. Well, same with the Hellcats. They're an excellent value per dollar for the performance that you get.
Right.
So the other competitors that we looked at for this car is there's a BMW X5M and then there's a Mercedes GLS 63, which is huge. I mean, it's bigger than the SRT, but that's 130 grand. I mean, this
Right.
is half that.
I mean, you could also throw in the Porsche Cayenne.
Right.
But, well, really, that's not a three-row, but neither is the BMW.
Right.
But it's still the sport, SUVs, the massive muscle, with a sport SUV. I don't know. It's what you get in this package is incredible as far as the value is concerned.
Yeah, so they're coming out with the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, which is basically a Grand Cherokee with the Hellcat engine, which is 707 horsepower. So for the time being, this SRT Durango is sort of the king of the hill. But like reading the reviews, like what question is this asking? Like who really needs a almost 500 horsepower SUV? I mean, sure,
Three-row SUV.
right. I mean, there's a market for it, and it'll probably sell pretty well, but it's kind of an answer to a question that nobody's asking.
Well, and a lot of guys have been talking about this. Okay, so in the past, SUVs like this have come out, especially like the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT, and they have like off-road modes to them. Well, okay, so you get all this horsepower, and you're gonna go off-road, but you got low-profile tires.
Yeah, it's
like a beautiful car, so it's kind of like out of place. But now with the Dodge Durango, I mean, it kind of okay. So this, like I said, it's based off of a car chassis. There is no, let's go off-roading with it. I mean, this was designed to be on the street.
Right. The clearance is not like a Jeep Wrangler, like higher, like made for off-roading. So
Right.
you could do it, but it's
Right.
You're not buying it for going off-road. You're buying it to, floor it on the highway and get up to 100 in
Right.
no time.
It does not have Dodge's Quadralift air suspension system on it, so you're not going to get any more clearance out of it that way. It's a sport tune suspension. So it is interesting that they bring this out now, especially with the Trackhawk on the way. That has been delayed because they were having some issues delivering just over 700 horsepower to all four wheels. You got to imagine that's got to wreck.
Oh my God.
Some of the I don't know, maybe even like the frame, but
Yeah,
transmission
chassis.
and all that sort of stuff, the clutch. But you gotta ask, like, why are they bringing this out now, and what market did they find that wanted something like this?
I mean, this is kind of the golden age of horsepower. I mean, you have your Hellcats with 700 horsepower. You have your, obviously the next price range up, but your Porsches and your McLarens with 900 horsepower. I mean, I figure maybe they just look at the times and say, hey, we'll try this and see if it works.
Yeah.
The other thing that I saw that by 2020, this SRT Durango and the Demon, which we're going to talk about soon, there's going to be no more Hemi engines, which is kind of sad because everything is about fuel economy. So they're legislating them to be no more because everything will go down to V6s and probably turbos, because you have smaller engines and turbos, you get the same performance, but you get better fuel economy. So these two cars are probably going to be future classics because they're going to be. This is a
The last of a kind.
Right, it lasts like a dying breed. This will be a 2018, so if it's only on sale for a couple of years, like I know the Hellcat is not for sale anymore, so it could be a chance for Dodge to say, hey, we'll try this, knowing that what the market is, and it'll be a future classic. So
Right.
that could be. I don't know if that played into their decision or what, but
Right. Everything nowadays is being turbocharged and supercharged.
Right.
The Polestar, which you had in one of your other videos, that's turbocharged and supercharged. The Ford Focus, that RS.
RS, yep.
I mean, that thing's like 500 horsepower.
Every single model of Porsche 911 now is turbo. Even the bottom, like Carreras, all the way up to your turbo. Every single one is turbo because it's excellent performance, better fuel economy, and you're complying with all the legislation that's coming out.
Right. You don't have a bunch of gas hogs out there.
Right.
The power is there when needed if you want it. But if you don't, I mean, it's
This is Dodge. They had a 8.4 liter Viper for sale, so they really, I mean, they don't give a shit about fuel economy. I mean,
Right.
I know It's crazy. I mean,
Yeah, but now the Viper's no more either.
Right. Which it's probably a casualty of all these, rules about fuel economy.
Yeah. Well, you got to think too. I can't help but think about Pontiac.
Mm-hmm.
That's Pontiac's market was all about power and stance and all that sort of stuff until they went out of business and
yeah. They couldn't hang. I mean, they had good stuff. I mean, GTO and everything, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Things
we'll have
change.
to see what happens.
Okay, so moving on to the Demon. So this is going to be I don't know if you call it updated, but since the Hellcat is no more,
right,
and we don't know the full specs yet, but they're speculating over 800 horsepower.
Yes.
From a two-door rear-wheel drive, or I think it's got to be all-wheel drive. I think it's all-wheel drive, but
no, it's two-wheel drive.
I think it's all.
It's a Challenger. It's two-wheel drive.
But I think for the Demon it's going to be all.
Really?
I could be wrong, but this, I don't know why. I mean, I can understand why they're making a car like this, but you had the Hellcat. I guess they just want to up the ante so much, so when like a Mustang and a Camaro version, high-powered version comes out, hey, we got the most horsepower. I mean,
right, but what they've also said though is that this is probably going to be a numbered, limited production line. I mean, it's not going to be like a massive line. So those that do get into this and buy this Demon will have a piece of history and down the road.
This car will definitely be a future classic. I mean, no doubt.
Yeah.
So one thing I saw in the news is that they're saying this Demon is going to be a single-seater, and I think it's kind of stupid. I mean, I don't know. You buy cars to share your experiences with your friend. I mean, I couldn't take you to go.
Or you just take a car to the track.
That's true. I mean, I don't know what the production run is, but maybe let's just say it's 250 or something. It would probably be more than that. But I guess you could just say, hey, I got a Demon. I got 800 something horsepower. Kiss my ass. I don't know.
Guys are always out there jockeying for like who's bigger, who's got the longer stick.
Right. It's
I mean, I think this is part of that.
It's a dick measuring contest, kind of.
Well,
I mean, it is what it is.
Whoever buys it, like mine is bigger on this day.
Right.
I don't know.
So in the teaser and everything, they've been talking about how it's going to have the biggest tires, the biggest front tires of any car ever, and it has the biggest air intakes, and they actually call them air grabber. Like they have like an icon that says air grabber.
Right.
So I mean, they are hyping this thing up pretty good.
Yeah. The rear tires are going to be over 300. I think it was like 315s.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
315s on the back. Being another unibody chassis. There's no room to go in, so they're also going to have some fender flares on the back, maybe on the front. I have not seen that yet. If you looked at the video, you can see from the rear. I mean, those things are beefy.
Yeah, I think
they're coming, and it's going to come with slicks too.
Right. I think the front. I think it has fender flares on the front too. Because did you see the video where Vin Diesel was talking, and they had two? I think they had two Demons behind him in the picture.
No.
And you could see like the hood scoop was like twice as big as the Hellcats. And
really?
You could see the front fender flares. Yeah, I'll put the video or put the picture up. But I think it was an accident that he posted that. But they were pretty sure that it was the Demon. So it's gonna be wild.
It's going to be wild for sure.
Yeah.
Just seeing one of these on the street is going to be wild. It's going to be awesome. It's going to turn heads.
Yeah.
It's going to do everything the guy or girl who buys it wants it to be, and is a head turner, is I don't know, a conversation starter.
True. Do you see Hellcats very often, like out on the highway?
You don't really.
I've seen a few.
Yeah.
And I always just look at the little Hellcat emblem on the front fender. I'm like, oh, there's a Hellcat. I saw a bright blue Charger Hellcat on the highway the other day, and I was like, damn.
Yeah.
That thing is good. Like you can see
when you do
big,
see them, yeah.
The big hood scoop. I was like, that's a Hellcat. I know it is just by the front end. All right, I want to play this teaser video of the Demon, which is pretty cool. Will hasn't seen this yet, so I wanted to get his reaction.
We got SWAT going in here.
Yeah. Okay, so that when I gather that's a Hellcat. Okay. Those times
Okay, so they're transporting it.
right. Where? Let's see. Through a tunnel.
Right now, I'm thinking of like a scene from like Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
with this
yeah.
thing in here. The raptor scene in the beginning of Jurassic Park. Shoot! Finish line, so they're gonna leash.
Okay, so is that like
Fuel
race,
tank?
racing fuel? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Or, yeah.
Morphing.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Ah,
There we go.
there's a demon.
Okay, so the demon is unleashed.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
There you go. Dude,
It's pretty sick,
yeah,
dude. I mean,
they're hyping the shit out of this thing.
I am ready to see it. I'm ready to hear it.
Yeah. It's
because
gonna.
I, like a lot of you out there, guys especially, there are some girls out there, get pretty giddy over just the sound of horsepower.
It's gonna break the internet the first day, probably.
Oh my gosh.
I did read it's gonna be revealed on April 14th at the New York Auto Show. So
Okay.
that's gonna be.
Stay tuned.
Mark it down on your calendar. So Dodge, they're kind of playing by their own fiddle, doing what they do best, I guess you could say.
Horsepower and muscle, man. The
Mhm.
Hemi.
Yep.
Hemi's been around forever doing it.
Yeah. Will has a Ram with the Hemi, and it's probably the fastest thing
15 Ram, Laramie Limited.
It's probably the fastest thing I've ever been in. I remember you punched it on the highway once.
395 horsepower.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
It's nice, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't relate having that much horsepower.
Yeah. I thought that was going to be enough for a family, but looks like I'm going to be going into the SUV class once again. I had one before, but I will be revisiting that.
Yeah.
And every car that I've owned since, let's see, my Honda Element, I've always stepped up my horsepower. Every vehicle, never gone back. I don't think I ever will. So
you got a pedestal.
Yeah, I got like 395, nothing less.
You need 4. You need the next thing to start with 4.
Yeah.
Or 5. Or
yeah. I think I've gone from 165 to 215 to 293 to now 395. Yeah. So
I'm still in the ones. Let's see, I went from 100, 120 to 160
yeah.
to 184. So maybe I'll get to 2 next car.
Yeah, there you go. Horsepower to weight ratio,
Yeah.
you know.
Alright, so this was our first episode of 0 to 60 Reaction News. If you guys have any comments, leave them below. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Do it.
Hey everybody, this is Dan. Alright.
Okay.
I'll go back and look at this.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, this is Dan.
And Will?
And this is GemmyD on Cars.
What was that?
What?
I was like, and Will? like,
Alright.
what?
Alright, we gotta get these out of our system.
This is ridiculous. Something so simple.
I know, you just like talk.
Yeah. Alright.
Hey everyone, this is Dan. This car has a 4.4 liter V8.
A 4.4 liter?
No, it's 6.4.
Yes.
Alright, so this car has a 6.4 liter V8 with, what is it, 475? Alright, now I'm getting hot. Okay. So this car is a 6.4